Four tales of love and life unfold in the eternal city of Rome.
Congratulazioni, è già tutto pagato. Sono tutta tua, tutta per te.
An American architect relives his youth,
This might have been my exact street.
while an average Roman finds himself a sudden celebrity.
Sei famoso!
But as a young couple falls into separate romances,
How would you feel if I kissed you?
an opera director tries to put a singing mortician on stage. Into Rome with Love.
Purple Rose of Cairo.
Why are you starting in 1985?
It's my favorite.
Yeah, but what about it?
Sweet and Lowdown.
That's 99.
Annie Hall.
What's his first movie?
Oh, Casino Royale, the goofy one.
No, he didn't direct that.
Well, he was in that.
Woody Allen has a new movie called To Rome with Love. You both have just seen it. What did you think about it?
I do get a little biased with Woody Allen, I have to admit, but I was quite charmed with To Rome with Love. I think it's a very good and worthy follow-up to Midnight in Paris, which was probably Woody's best movie in a long time, let's face it.
Well, I'm also a very big Woody Allen fan, and I don't
Good.
think that you have to be enamored with To Rome with Love to also be a huge Woody Allen fan. I happen to think that To Rome with Love focuses on a tribute to Rome. It's a tribute to Italy, really, and Italian cinema and Italian culture, and I thought it was pretty thin in its tribute.
It's not the most stellar Woody Allen picture. I agree with you there. It's, not among his great works, but as just sort of a passing summer picture, I'm quite pleased with it.
I did enjoy myself while watching this movie. I just, with Woody Allen, even a bad Woody Allen is still a really good movie. And this is a mediocre Woody Allen.
I agree with you somewhat. I mean, this is the first time that we really see Woody Allen have these separate storylines that are intercut. Of course, we had everything you always want to know about sex but were afraid to ask was like different vignettes, but they weren't intercut with each other. Crimes and Misdemeanors had these two stories going against each other, but they sort of came together in the end. Here we have four stories that have nothing to do with each other and never really gel into any one central
they're thematically
storyline.
connected. They're all about relationships.
Correct.
and encountering a temptation.
Correct. And a lot of fame. There's a lot of it dealing with fame. We have Roberto Benigni's character who's just this self-titled schmuck who just suddenly is in the spotlight for no reason and he doesn't understand.
And
then-
Ellen Page also encountered a success in terms of her acting career, and then we have an opera singer who potentially has an encounter with fame.
Thematically, it's there, but I do think that there's a certain sense that you could be going, I don't like this story as much. I want to get back to that other story. And so I think that in that way, the entire film slows down a little bit. So I will give you that.
How was the acting in this movie?
I think the acting is fantastic. I think everyone is great. It's great to see Roberto Benigni here. American audiences probably really haven't seen him since he won an Oscar for Life is Beautiful. I like the American actors in this piece too. You've got Jesse Eisenberg and Ellen Page and Greta Gerwig in this sort of love triangle. They're all very good. I think Ellen Page especially is excellent in this picture.
How would you feel if I kissed you?
That is a non sequitur.
I think a lot of the actors weren't really acting because we don't really have characters. Again, we have stock characters, and I think this is purposeful because at the very beginning of Italian drama, we had Commedia dell'arte, and there were stock characters with specific personalities that didn't change and didn't really have arcs, and they would just appear in different scenarios. And I think what Woody Allen is trying to do is to allude to stock situations and stock characters instead of flawed, fleshed out, real characters. The only character that I thought was really interesting was Ellen Page's character, and I think she gave the best performance because it was the best written character in the film.
And I thought the Ellen Page character was the most sort of Woody Allen-esque character. She's the closest to the Annie Hall of this picture and the characters that you would see Mia Farrow play in the 80s and more recently Scarlett Johansson.
Well, I completely disagree. All those characters that you just mentioned that are Woody Allen characters from the past are much more charming and empathetic, whereas the Ellen Page character is incredibly selfish and self-concerned and egotistical.
And Scarlett Johansson in Match Point is not that?
Well, but think about Annie Hall is like the cutest character ever. To compare her to Ellen Page and To Run with Love doesn't make any sense.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Well, bye.
How was Woody Allen? Did he play himself like he does in his other movies?
Well, Woody Allen has said that he can play two things. He can either play the high intellectual type because of the way he looks, or the schmuck because of the way he is.
The clown.
The clown. And this one he tends toward somewhere in the middle, the schmuck who thinks he's a highly intelligent being, I guess. But that's funny, and I like seeing Woody on screen. We haven't seen him since Scoop, which was 2006, so I love seeing him back on screen. I hope he stays there.
You married a very bright guy. I got 150, 160 IQ.
You're figuring it in euros. In dollars, it's much less.
It's not as magical a story as Midnight in Paris because, you know, it had that time travel element that really made the city kind of come to life and really felt like it was playing toward the Parisian aspect of it. This does not feel as much like a love letter to its city as Midnight in Paris did to Paris, or something like Manhattan did to Manhattan, certainly. But I still think it's a well-directed movie.
It's nowhere near as good as Midnight in Paris, but it's a pleasant diversion, and I say stream it.
I agree it's not one of Woody Allen's best movies, but it's better than Whatever Works, and it's better than You Will Meet a Tall Dark Stranger. So I'm gonna say see it. To This Movie with Love.
To Woody Allen.
You will never understand women.
That's been proven.